Hello and good morning from Low Country Shrimp and Knits. I am Tracy, the fabulous owner, along with Judi Kirby from Maggie Loves Yarn, my favorite knitter, knitting bestie, and my teacher extraordinaire. So before we get started today, I wanted to introduce Maggie Loves Yarn. So this is Judi's baby at home. She does all of our hand-dyed goods, and this one is my favorite. So I wanted to show this one to you. This one is called Mermaid's Tail. I cannot keep it in the shop, okay? So it is absolutely gorgeous. It's got little sparkles, I don't know if you can see in it, and it knits up just beautifully. So, Judi, talk about your yarn a little bit, please.
Well, Maggie is my little puppy dog, Maggie. She's part boxer, part, part Dalmatian, and she's deaf. She was born deaf. So I started dyeing yarn at the same time we got her, which was during the pandemic, and she does love yarn. Not the way we do, because I have to untangle everything. So we just decided to call it Maggie Loves Yarn. Mermaid's Tail is part of a series that we're carrying at Tracy's shop, which is the Bluffton series. We have Mermaid's Tail, May River Dolphins, and also Spanish Moss. Those are the first three we have.
Let's see if I have some Spanish moss.
I think you sold it. I think I got to make another one.
Yep, nope, we're out of Spanish moss.
So that's Maggie Loves Yarn. That's my little science lab in the laundry room. Always coming up with something new.
But these are some other colors. Look at how bright they are. So now a little hint that I learned from the fabulous Judi. This one's also. Whoa! So so these are some. I mean, we have like 30 different skeins here, so come play with them. They're gorgeous. Absolutely.
I can also, if you need more yardage of something, I can do that. If you want it, like if it's a fingering and you want it worsted, I can do that too. You just let me know. I write down all the recipes.
That's right. So we can definitely take care of whatever it is that you're looking for. So, okay, so today we're continuing our work on, this one's called Smooth Sailing. This is our knit along. If you're just joining us, it is Smooth Sailing by Dora Creadora. Okay, you can find that on Ravelry. It is a fun, cute t-shirt. So last time we started this craziness, we kicked it off. Now Judi is very far ahead of us just to make sure that I know what I'm doing here. So my homework was to make these shoulder, like epaulettes as I'm calling them. So I've got my 2 done as promised last class, and we're going to continue on because this next part can be a little bit challenging. So I'm going to have Judi kind of explain how to kick it off, and then we're going to show how we do this on these 2 pieces.
So I have my front bodice done. No, it will go longer, trust me.
Well, because it's so sexy the way it is.
Yes, it is. Isn't it? But it will go longer, but I'm to the point now where I'm going to do the exact same thing I did here on the back. And then I will do the back, and then we connect it and go through the round. So if you have your little triangles made, you're going to want to lay them out like Tracy has them. Fat ends come to this part, and the triangle part comes down.
I'm going to move the camera so don't puke. Okay, hold on one second here. So I'm going to just kind of demonstrate as...
You can see mine. I've done it. Fat part comes up to the top part of your shoulder by your neck. The narrow part of the triangle will come to the point of your shoulder. You want the wrong side up. The wrong side is the shoulders. If you look at the picture on your pattern very carefully, you'll see that. If you don't like that, you can do it the other way. Doesn't make any difference. There are no knitting police. There are rules in knitting, but nobody knows what they are, so don't worry.
We make them up as we go, and if you have an issue with that, then sorry.
If you look at the picture on the pattern, how it's laid out, you can see that too. Now on the chart that they give you for your size, this was a little interesting. I've not done as much rearranging on a pattern before as I have. And I'm sorry about my hair, it's raining outside.
It's pouring.
It looked really good when I left the house.
Mine too. Mine was so fabulous despite all the humidity and everything and the fact that I'm going bald. It was so good. Yeah. You guys would have loved it.
It doesn't anymore. Okay, so where was that they told?
Which part are we looking at?
I'll find it.
Are we talking shoulder panels?
Yep, here we go. It tells you how many you're going to pick up. I was nowhere near that. nowhere. And I didn't care, because if I had tried to put as many pickup stitches as they said to, it would have been ruffling. And I didn't want that. I wanted a very smooth look. So what I did was I counted very carefully what I did here on the shoulder part, because this is an I-cord, and you just don't want I-cord looking tight. Then you're going to I-cord your neck, and that's another place you're going to want to keep track of your measurement. You're going to want to pick up the same number on the other shoulder. Okay, so if you're looking at it, we're going to start with the left. Well, actually, if you're looking at it like this, we're going to start with the left, pick up, go across for the neck, and pick up here. So I already know, you probably don't because you haven't picked it up yet. I already know that I picked up not 57 like they said. I got 45, okay? So I know that I have to do 45 on the back. So this time I did kind of space it out, 10 stitches, 10, 10, and then the last 5 down here, okay? You're going to want to do that too, so that both sides come out even. It's not as tricky as you think, but it takes a little planning ahead of time. And then make sure you measure how wide you make your neck opening. I made mine 9 inches, so I don't know whether you can see all the writing I have on it, because I changed it several times, but I know I have 45, 45, and 9 inches here, which is how I did it, okay? This is the one time you really, really have to write down what you have so you remember how to do that, Tracy.
Okay, I can't just ask you 1,000 times.
No.
Judi, what did I do here? Judi, hello, Judi, why do you have a life? How rude. Come help me with my thing that I didn't listen to.
So if you look at this, what we're going to do, it says right down below, it tells you how to do the I-cord cast on, okay? That's what you do going up the shoulder. When you get to do the neck opening, you do it differently. And no, they don't give instructions. I had to look it up. So I figured it out. Then you go, and then you go back to the other way on it, okay? So the first couple stitches take a little trickiness. It's morning. I don't usually knit this early in the morning, so hold on.
Lies. I know you do too.
I don't. I'm cleaning. I'm sewing for people. This is my morning sewing hour. Okay, so if you notice, it says, and you want to start all the way at the point, okay? Make sure you pick that up all the way at the point, because now that I'm going to do the back, I want it to meet there too, okay? So that it looks like it's continuous all the way to the point on your shoulder. I sound like I really know what I'm doing.
I know. Wow, you're completely amazing, all of us, with your lies and your kale.
And I had to paint one fingernail because I tore it all the way down last night. So I had to stop at Kroger and buy some, along with dinner when I left here, some clear so I could paint that. So it's
so
not
fancy.
because my pointing finger is very shiny so you can follow it. It's because I ripped the nail really, really bad last night.
But that would be cool if you did it like one of those glowing things in hockey, like a
I should have
puck.
just painted it bright red so you could follow the dancing finger.
Next time.
Okay. So it says cast on 2. Then you're going to pick up a stitch. And I'm picking up between the knobs, okay? The little knobs here, and then you can see the stitch row here. That's where I'm picking up. I thought it looked really clunky up here, if you can see it. And I can't tell you how many times I ripped it out, but if you look at the pictures online and Ravelry, if you go to Ravelry and look at the pictures and you kind of scroll and play around, everybody's looks that way, including the person who made it. So don't worry about it. So you're going to cast on 2, and I cast on 2 and then switched it back over to my right needle. All right, make sure I do this right. Okay, then you pick up your first stitch, and I'm going to pick it up right here. Because I'm using a little heavier yarn than you may be using, I didn't always pick up both stitches because it tended to make it really heavy. Same thing here. I'm only going to pick up one, the top one. Well, guess what? Both of them want to go together.
Like,
there we go.
Twins.
I've got it right there. All right, I'm going to knit it. Yes, okay. And this is where the I-cord part comes in. You have 3 stitches. I got to put them back on my left. Do not just scoop them all up and go, as much as we'd like to, because this takes a while. Put them all back on, one at a time. And excuse me for this because it's cast on, so it's a little tight. Come on, you. I'm going to put them on with my fingers. See, I told you I don't work well in the morning. Doesn't want to go on.
No pressure, Judi.
I
Just
know.
make it perfect. We're all watching.
Okay, I got all three on, and yes, it's a little splitty, and I don't care. All right, so now what you do is you knit two. That's my tail. Knit two. Make sure I'm doing this right because it's been a while, a couple weeks. All right, slip one. I need to tighten it up just a little bit with my, okay, knit two. It's right there in your instructions. Okay, there we go. Knit two, slip one. No, wait a minute. Okay, yep, so you got three. Pick up the next one. So now you've got four on your needles, okay? The one that you slipped, you're going to pass over that last one you just knitted, okay? So now you have three again. We're going to do it again. You put those three back on your left needle, okay? Then you do the same sequence again. Knit two. Slip the third. Pick up a new stitch right in between. I'm going between those two little knobbies. I'm picking up the stitch. I'm knitting it. And now I'm going to pass that slip stitch if it wants to go. Oh, don't you dare. There we go. Over. They make it look so easy in the YouTube videos, don't they?
And
So
we are
now-
looking at super easy here.
So I have three back on. So then I'm going to do the same thing again, okay? When you get to the edge, or when I get to the edge, hopefully, three on, pass three to the left. Oh, you just stubborn today. Pass three to the left. Knit two.
I'm trying to do this in an angle that's
Yeah,
helpful.
is that easier? Knit one. Two. I'll tell you, she has a video that you can go look for it, but she uses very short needles like this, and her hands cover the needles, and then she dips down below constantly. So I was like, what the heck? I finally figured it out my own. So I'm knitting one, two, slip the third, pick up again between the two knobs. Don't split your yarn. Knit it. And
Let me see if I can go over.
pass over. Okay? Now, if you think you've got it, we're going to keep going. If you want me to do it again, text Tracy.
Okay, well, hopefully now she's got to show me how to do that because I wasn't paying attention. I was trying not to make people vomit from movement of the camera because my kid goes, "Look at this, Mom! I made this video," and it's like, I'm like, "Oh God, okay." I got old and I can't do teacups.
You ever
and-
watch home videos of people at Disney World, and then we're on the ride,
Oh,
the
yeah.
ride,
Oh,
and
my
they're doing
God.
this, and your head's going.
Yeah, no, it makes me like, yeah. Here, let's spin around. Oh God. All right, so.
Cast on two.
All right, so I'm going to cast on two.
Just
with
remember
my
to have
with
a-
my contrast color.
Your contrast color.
Ooh, fabulous.
First time you get to use your contrast color.
Ooh, hello, contrast color. And mine is copying yours because I like yours. So.
Now, she held them all up last night, and we decided the pink looked the best. So we gave her permission to copy me.
Yeah. She said, "Oh my God, no, not that yellow. That's disgusting next to your skin." And I was like, "Oh, thank you, God."
I didn't say it quite like that.
Well, that's how I heard
I made
it.
retching
That's how-
noises. I didn't say a word. I just went.
All right, you know what? I need my glasses. I do this every time. I can see. No, I cannot. Okay.
We like to call this segment Laverne and Shirley Teach a Knitting Class.
God, help us and save us. All right, so.
My nickname in real life is Lucille Ball. Just want you to know.
All right, so I'm going.
Cast on two.
I did cast on two.
Okay. Pick up a stitch and knit it.
Okay, so I want to be at the very end, correct?
You want to be at the very end. Wait a minute. Which way are you going? Make sure you're laying it. Okay.
I'm going outside in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go between, as you say, the little knobbies. Is this like a
I
grammatical
go between the
term,
knobbies.
or-
And
All right, why does that feel backwards?
And you know what? If it comes out 46 or 47 instead of 45, I'm not going to worry about it. Because then when I did as I was knitting the bodice, remember it's just the bodice, not the whole thing, I added 10 more stitches. And I just did it every 12 rows or so. They tell you to decrease, and I'm like, I'm not going to decrease because I'm not where you said I should be. So instead I'm going to add to be close to where you said I should be.
We're close enough. Guesstimate. All right.
So you got 4, you should have 3 stitches on.
I do.
Okay, now slip those back to your left needle.
Okay. And we slip purlwise?
No, I put it into the back,
On the back, okay.
through the back needle.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All
Got
right.
all 3 on there?
I do.
Okay, knit 2.
Oh, you're right. This sucker is tight.
I know, the first couple are.
All right.
Okay, slip 1.
Knit. Oops, not with that one. Knit 1. Knit 2, and then
Slip 1, then pick up another stitch.
Slip purlwise?
Yeah.
Okay. And then pick up another stitch.
So you should have 4 on your needle.
Okay.
Okay? Take that stitch that you slipped and pass it over the last one you just knitted. You know what?
Okay.
And I'm going to rip mine out because look what
no.
No, I'll show you. I'm doing the underside. So I really do need to start over there.
Okay.
Okay, good to know.
See?
You don't want those little white stitches showing on the top. If that's what you're doing, just stop and go to the other side.
Okay, so I have...
It was really tricky. It took me a while to figure out if you don't do this just right, you don't get the look that you want to get. So...
All right, so I've done my 3. I passed over the last one that I slipped over the one I just knit. Do I put them back on the left needle?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let me start again. I'm so sorry. I just realized why that was looking really bad. And if you see the little white stitches showing up, the little white purling edge, start over and go over. And I had to do that too. It wasn't a big deal.
All right, so am I going to knit these 3 now?
Okay, wait a minute. I gotta get my 2 on here.
All right.
You knit 2, slip 1.
Okay, so always... All right, I know how to do I-cord, but always when I start off, I'm like, how do I do this again?
In I-cord pickups are different.
Yeah.
I-cord bind-offs are different.
That's
just
usually how
simply
I do
making
them.
an I-cord without picking up anything. You're not going to be slipping and picking up any stitches when you get to your neck.
Right.
So it's like, well then,
All right, so then I pick up another one. So I've slipped the 3rd one. I pick up a new one.
Yep.
I'm supposed to count at the same time?
Well, I'm not. I would just get them on, and then count, and then try and get the same.
You're asking an awful lot.
No, and then what you do is take your little markers and mark that same amount, and then put them back on.
Okay.
Okay, there's my 3.
Why do we decide to use such skinny, tiny yarn?
Because we're stupid.
Oh, right.
Because they were pretty.
Oh, that too. This one's being very splitty on me.
Now, once you get it started, you're okay. How many we got on there? 4?
I don't know.
We didn't lose anybody
No.
from last week?
No.
I'm amazed.
Oh, the legions will be coming. You're just all the OG group, my original gangstas. So I have to slip this.
Put on. There we go.
So when I keep slipping,
Yeah, now it's
super
behind.
fluffy now. All right, here we go. Beginning always feels like it's a giant catastrophe.
I hate beginning anything because nothing looks right. It's the same thing when you're doing color work. It's like, what, where? And then you slowly see the pattern and you go, okay. That's why it took me a few before I went, I'm going on the wrong side.
Yeah, well, we got tons of color work stuff coming up this fall, and I'm excited for it, so.
If you like or you've ever wanted to learn color work, we are into it big time here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
wanted that on the bottom, and I wasn't putting those little white slips on the bottom.
Gotcha.
So if your little white slips are on the top, no.
No. Okay, so let's continue this. Hopefully, at some point, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's be like this epiphany of like, it actually came together.
Mine can look bad because it's in the back. You guys are doing the front.
Gosh. Well, then we just call it a pattern. Oh, it's the pattern that wanted it to be that way.
Design element.
Yep. That pattern was weird. Oops.
This is a very weird construction.
I don't know what I just pulled up.
And you know, sometimes you start it and you're like, I'm not getting it. That's all right. Put it away for a day. Think about it. I'm like that too. I put it away and then all of a sudden at 3 a.m. I sit up and go, oh, that's how you do that.
Oh, see, mostly I just go, forget it! And then I rip it to shreds and...
you got to stop her before she starts.
Yeah, I get in my tirade of like, this is ridiculous!
No, yours is a little difficult to get it going. Now mine's just difficult because I have all this weight of what was left over from the front on there.
Right.
I can't just whip it around.
Whip it good. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
So Maggie does love yarn, and she does love all girly things.
She's so cute.
If you come to my house and knit, she has to sit right beside me. We have a wicker couch in the Carolina room, and people want to sit down there, and I'm like, yeah, you don't want to sit there because Maggie's going to climb up. She climbs up, and she sits there, and she looks around at everyone like, okay, ladies, what are we discussing?
All right, I'll be involved.
Nails.
Yeah, so this morning was, a little rush to get out of the house because my littlest one just graduated from her police boot camp, summer camp that she wanted to go to, and it was, oh my gosh, it was the cutest little thing. They did all these formations and yeah, it was it was just so, and she had these pants on and they couldn't find pants because she's a skinny little minute and they couldn't find pants that fit her, so they had to use adult women's small.
Oh, geez.
And so she's got this belt on and it's wrapped around her and she's like, Mom, I look like a rapper, they're all around my legs. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, and then they had these boots too, of course, because it's part of the cadet uniform. And yeah, she looked adorable as they were going through
She's adorable
little
anyway.
presentation. Oh, it was just so darn cute. Is this looking like it's supposed to?
Yeah.
Bam! What?
Show the camera.
Oh, look at, I actually can do it. Woohoo! Okay. Oh my god, so my daughter has decided now I've got to get her, doing something constructive. She's decided she's going to just watch South Park all day, which is just so informative and really good parenting. I like to, so, now she's got all this terminology. I'm like, yeah, I don't think we should say that because that is, funny, but,
I raised boys, not girls, and when they were teenagers, they would have South Park on. And I'd come in and I'd go, you really don't need to have that on. You need to get something else while I'm keeping an eye on it. And oh my gosh, that is so true. And I'd start laughing.
Oh, I know.
See, Mom?
Yeah, I get laughing. And then I made the mistake, and I watched it 1,000 years ago when it was first on, right? Mm-hmm. But now, like, I actually spend a few minutes thinking about it. I'm like, what is Kenny saying? Because he's the one that's in orange that's all muffled all the time. And I finally looked it up, and I'm like, oh, my goodness.
Is he saying something bad?
Very.
Oh.
Very bad. I'm like, oh. Lena goes, so Lena's 15. She's like, what is he saying? I'm like, I can't say it, what he's saying. So, and apparently each season they change the opening, and so what he says has become quite even worse.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, that's a little kept secret.
Woo! I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, I was too embarrassed. And I have, those that know me have I grew up in Rhode Island, and swearing is like just part of living there. And yeah, no, I was embarrassed. I was like, okay, yeah, nope, we will not be repeating that. So anyway, that's the education. I'm like, we're going to learn Spanish this summer and everything. And yeah, we're just watching South Park apparently. So parenting 101. Bam! Follow me for some more suggestions on good parenting tips.
And wait till they become teenagers.
Well, one of them is.
Even before they become teenagers. At one point, you just finally wave the white flag and throw a bag of Doritos at them and go,
good luck. I kept you alive.
But my oldest son has 4 kids. 3 of them are
4 kids,
seconds. I mean, in other words, he married someone who had 3 children. We don't call them step-grandchildren. We call them instants because we instantly fell in love with them, and they fell in love with us. So he has 3 teenagers and a 7-year-old right now. And It's coming back to get him because he grew up with all boys and now he has teenage daughters. And he says to me one day, he goes, and Jaylyn is the oldest and she has the best personality, just the best. We call her Sparkle and Sunshine.
Aww.
And he goes, I swear to God, Mom, she just came out of the room and hissed at us and walked back in. And I went, welcome to teenage girls.
Well, my 15-year-old is good. She's not hissed at me yet today. But my little one, she's definitely feisty. And so while I was trying to take pictures of this whole cadet graduation thing, and she was like, Ma, stop it. I'm not taking pictures. I'm like, oh, but I said, well, you know what? Too bad. I birthed you, and I get the right to take pictures.
That's
because
right.
This is,
Someday you'll thank me for this.
I'm like, I don't care. And she's, and understandably she's grouchy because she's been getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which means we've been getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Thankfully, my husband this week is in town, so he's been getting up, thankfully for me, not so much for him, but he's been getting up and getting her into boot camp for 5:45. And whew, I'll be glad to sleep in tomorrow. Until, 6 when my dog decides it's time for us to get up, and how rude that we're still asleep when he's ready to go outside. So.
Let's see, Maggie doesn't do that. She lays there what she thinks is quietly till we wake up and all of a sudden we hear this. She's licking her paws or some other unmentionables, and it's like, okay, guess we're out.
Oh my God, my French Bulldog is disgusting. I mean, I love him so much, but he is disgusting. And he is so licky. And he's so loud about it. So we're trying to watch TV, and we're like, oh my God. I'm like, that is disgusting. Your sounds are just vile. And he's
Yeah,
like,
there's
what?
not a feminine bone in Maggie's body.
Yeah, nor in Pete the dog's. Well, he is a boy, so. But he is like the epitome of gross, yucky boy dogs. He's drooly and slimy, and yet we love him nonetheless, because we're crazy people, apparently.
I talked about Maggie loving yarn. Before Maggie, we had a Treeing Walker Coonhound. And he had some Beagle in him. We called him Duke.
He had those big old ears, huh?
He had those big soft ears. They were so sweet. And people would come over to knit, and he had a thing for alpaca. He loved alpaca. He wouldn't chew or anything. He would just roll in it. Like,
well, alpaca is so soft and fabulous. You can't blame him.
So people would come over to knit or whatever, and they'd go, oh, and there would be Duke's head all the way down in the bottom of her knitting bag. And she's like, your dog's in my knitting bag. And I go, got some alpaca in there? And she goes, yeah. I said, I'd get it out of there before he finds it. Loved his alpaca.
Well, I took a group of students to Peru several years ago, and we went to this alpaca farm, and oh my God, they were the funniest animals. But we learned this lesson about how you can tell if something is baby alpaca. So when you're holding it, if it's real, legitimate baby alpaca, which is why it's so expensive, because of course it's just their first fur or hair or whatever, and then once they shear it, it never grows back the same way. But you can tell if something is real, because in Peru they love to try to swindle you for the prices of baby alpaca. But you know it's real when it's cool in your hand. So if you're touching real baby alpaca, it has this weird cool feeling to it. So I don't know, have you tried this before?
What are you doing?
Put your hand up.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? It's like it got a little bit of coolness to it.
Yeah, it does. I just thought it was your air conditioning.
Well, that too. It's cranking.
Yeah, if you stick your finger in there, you can feel the coolness.
It's just a little bit of coolness to it. So
That is so cool.
yeah.
I learned something
Oh,
today.
no, see? Well, in the gang, Sugar Baby Alpaca. You can buy it here, shrimpandknits.com.
Thank you, Vanna.
Yes. Do you think Pat Sajak's daughter's taking over?
Taking over or just, she's on there a lot.
I know. Do you think she's going to be the next one?
Oh, the next Vanna?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Or
He's
Pat.
getting up there.
Or
He's
Pat.
getting- I don't know. She hasn't been allowed to turn any letters yet. We'll have to see how she does with that.
True.
I'm more worried about who's going to be the next host of Jeopardy.
Well, see, here's my thing. I love me some Jeopardy. I feel like they've kind of mailed it in with the questions since Sajak died. I'm like, I should not be getting all of these right.
I just thought I was really smart.
Well, and we clearly are geniuses, but I was like, they've got to, make them a little bit more like, wow, how do they know this information, instead of, well, duh, which is kind of where they are right now. But I don't know, there was just so much with Ken Jennings, and then the old, the host that was the producer, and
yeah, I know.
Mayim Bialik.
I didn't like Ken Jennings at first, but now I really like him. I hope he becomes the permanent one. He seems really, really interested in the people. Maya is like reading a script, I think, sometimes.
I think she's just
Maya,
this.
is that how you say it?
Maya, I don't know.
No, never did learn her.
Yeah.
Amy Farrah Fowler.
Yes. But I feel like she's just one of these, like, awkward people. Like, socially awkward people, so...
There's a daily double! She says it the same way every single time.
Well, they must like it, otherwise they'd make her redo it.
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know. I know she really wants it permanently. I'm like...
But isn't she... She's got another show on something. Isn't she? Cat something?
It was dumb. I didn't watch it.
It wasn't Cat. I don't know.
Yeah, Call Me Cat.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Yeah,
I taught English and high school English. And so the kids every so often thought they'd be smart Alex, and they'd go, well, why do we have to learn this? And my answer every single time was, because someday you could be on Jeopardy and this would be the final Jeopardy question, and I would be really mad if you didn't get it. Well, about a year ago, and I'm friends with a lot of them on Facebook, about a year ago, the final Jeopardy question was one of those items they always question. You would not believe the messages I got. Kirby, you were right! I got it right! It was a final Jeopardy question!
See? What we tell you as teachers, someday you'll turn back. My thing I tell my students, because I teach Spanish, is at some point when you get older, you're going to say, because everybody says, it's not just my students, but everyone I know says, I wish I had kept studying Spanish because it's so useful. I could use it every day. And I can use it every day, despite the fact that I'm a teacher and a tutor and all that. I mean, literally, I can use it every single day. So at some point, you're going to go thinking, oh man, I wish I had kept studying Spanish because it's so useful. And now you've heard it here again. Can you imagine the two of us in the same school district teaching?
I think we would be.
Why'd you both get fired? Well, it was kind of funny at the time, but
I have a lot of funny stories about teaching.
Oh, I love teaching.
Are you feeling awkward? You should, because I'm still feeling like, oh my gosh, 4 left feet.
On this one?
Yeah, just trying to get it going.
Well, and it just feels like it takes forever. So I'm like, am I doing this right?
It does. I-cord takes forever.
And then
I'm working on a blanket. It's a slip stitch blanket, and you had to I-cord cast on 310 stitches.
Oh my God!
2 hours later, finally got it done.
How many stitches?
300.
Well, that's a lot of stitches anyway.
Well, it's a blanket.
Oh my gosh! What are you making this blanket for?
Me.
All right. Well, then it's worth your 310
and
2,000 hour.
To it. It's my football watching
project.
Oh no! Wait! Don't do that.
Okay, I won't.
Slip it. Well, there for a while, we had a running joke, my friend and I, about Jeopardy. If it was an American literature question, it was always Leaves of Grass or Walt Whitman.
Oh, Walt Whitman, yeah.
If it's a British lit question, it's Jane Austen.
Yep.
Or Emily Bronte.
Well, because those are the only two people read.
I know. It's always Leaves of Grass. So when I don't know an answer now, I just say Leaves of Grass.
I don't know if I've ever read Leaves of Grass.
Oh, the poem, Song of Myself.
Myself. Now, I was more into Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, love Edgar Allan Poe.
So,
love him, love him, love him.
I
always had fun teaching that. I used to make my kids memorize the first 6 stanzas of the Raven.
Oh,
why, you ask? Because memory recitation is good for the brain. That's the only reason why. It wasn't a big deal. They can still recite it to me. They do a lot on Facebook when they think they're going to be funny.
I bet. Well, we had to memorize in my Spanish class, which was amazing. I had the best Spanish teacher ever. I mean, ever. And we had to memorize a poem. And I still remember the darn thing. And it's so funny because I remember we had to memorize this. And I'm like, I can't remember what I ate for breakfast 5 minutes ago, but
I know that memorization will help you in your old age. You might be drooling down your chin in the home, but you can recite the first 6 stanzas of the Raven.
Which will come in handy in the home.
Mm-hmm. Especially on talent night.
I can't do much, but darn it, I got this down.
And of course, when you get old, like my husband and me, and we do Jeopardy, we know the answer, and you're like, like I couldn't remember Mount Rushmore. That wall with the president's faces on it. And it was the right answer. But they would not accept that answer as that big piece of rock with the 4 presidents' faces on it. I couldn't remember the term Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Well, my brain fog since getting COVID is still so bad. And I mean, there are times, even when I'm teaching, I couldn't think one time, this past semester of the word consonants. I'm like, the ones that aren't vowels, those guys, them. I was like, finally came to me.
Or that word that my granddaughter, when she was 8, said to me, Grandma, I know my state capitals, but I have a hard time with my incontinence.
Well,
I said, well, Jalen, a lot of people do.
As we get older, those are things we have to deal with.
She goes, is that continence? Yeah, but I like your answer much better. Incontinence.
Yeah, my daughter, my little one, makes up words all the time, and it just makes me laugh. I'm like, I kind of like that version better. Of course, I can't think of anything off the top of my head because I just, brain fog, we just talked about that, but she's got some things that crack me up. All right. So this is the white line you're talking about in the back.
Yeah,
right?
It should be on the bottom.
All right, so here is my white line that's in the back. I don't know if
It's
you can
not,
see
though.
it.
It's got it on, you got it on the top.
I got it on my top?
Yep.
No! All right, so I guess I did it backwards. Or can I just use this side?
And just keep it knitted.
Yep.
Instead of,
I'm going to keep it knitted.
Project
change.
Watch picking up so many, because see what's happening? It's starting to, look, I'm going to hold, see how it's starting to ruffle?
Ugh, I hate that.
I know. Keep it loose.
All right. I hate ruffles. I'm definitely not a ruffle.
It's starting to pucker.
Look what you did. You dropped my stitches.
I'm sorry. I do that a lot to people.
It's quite all right. All right, what am I doing here with this eye cord? All right, so.
Well, a great knitting teacher, and he writes a lot of funny stories about knitting and all, is Franklin Habit. I don't know whether you follow him or not. He's hysterical. Right now he's living in Paris. But they were talking one day about forgetting things. He goes, you do not know how embarrassing it is to be in front of a class and suddenly go, this. Somebody finally said, skein of yarn? He goes, yes, skein. He goes, I just wanted to die.
Yeah, we all have those moments. I taught high school as you did for a long time, and oh my God, I love those muffins. They were just so much fun.
Are you picking up 2, or are you picking up just 1? See how you know how a lot of times when you pick up stitches, there's a double?
Yeah.
And a lot of people say to go under
like
the double. I'm not picking up double because it's such thick yarn, and you're using the same yarn I am.
Maybe I'm...
And that might be causing it too. But strive for a smooth look.
Dude, I always strive for a
See
for
how
a
mine
smooth
stays
look.
smooth?
Oh,
And then lay yours down, and you're really pulling yours tight.
Shush. Shush,
Fine,
lady.
keep on going. Just like that one where it didn't fit over your head. You were going to keep on knitting it anyways.
Damn it, I was not going to be beaten by it! And then I was beaten by it, and...
She just looked away. Finally went, is that a sleeve cuff? No, it's my head cuff. Is that going to fit over your head? That was a cute little tam. Then stop. Just stop.
But I had worked so hard to get there!
Just stop.
I'm like, I must have a turtle or something. I can wear it.
I'm like, it's never going to go on. Just stop.
I'm going to wear it as a tiara. Because that's how it fits. Oh, my gosh.
Just look like a turtle trying to.
Oh, my God. No, that was ridiculous. See, it wasn't meant to be ranunculus. Ranunculus hates me.
I know, you were going to teach it this Saturday.
Well, I obviously could not, so I just dropped that class. If you're
Nobody
wondering.
signed up anyways?
Well, I dropped it before. I didn't really give it too much a chance. All right, what am I doing? See, like here. What?
Just
I
pick
go-
up the top one.
But then it feels like I'm pulling them too close together.
No, pick it up in between,
All
right
right.
here.
All right. Hey, jerk. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because I hate when they get that like stretched looking.
Well, you're just making it puckery,
I don't want to make
and
it
that's
puckery.
not going to block out.
I have a lot of creams for that. Cellulite, but I don't know if it will work for this.
I don't think so.
Well, what the heck happened here?
And before you leave today, I want to talk about, once you get all those on, how you do the next step.
Okie doke.
Yeah, something she really doesn't talk about is in her instructions are, how it's supposed to look. And when you go to pick up the white from underneath the I cord, it's important I started over 3 times before I realized I was trying to work with it this way, and I needed to lay it out away from me. And when I laid it out away from me, I could see it. But again, it almost went by the way of ranunculus.
Oh, no.
It was like, we're going to figure out a different way to do this. But I tried one more time. And then it was, the light bulb went off. So don't go rogue. I think I told that to somebody on Facebook. Don't try and go rogue.
You did. One of my friends from college.
Is she on now?
I don't know. I didn't see her name come through. But if you are, hi. Pie for love. Woo! So what are your, you got some fourth plans?
I do. We're having 6 other people come over for a cookout.
Ooh.
I planned this after my husband told me, I threw away the old grill, didn't you? Didn't you?
Oopsie.
No, I didn't. This is why we don't communicate well in this house. So I had to go buy a new grill yesterday.
Cookout. Cookout is what we always said up north. I grew up in Rhode Island, and we always had cookouts.
Barbecue.
Barbecue is something that I hear down here.
Is that what they say, barbecue?
Yeah.
I just say whatever I want to.
Yeah, I just always have gone with cookout. I'm like, barbecue? That's just a type of food. But, yeah. So.
Just dogs and brats and
Ew.
hamburgers.
Do you like hot dogs?
Sometimes. I like brats.
Oof, I don't like any of them.
I'm sorry, you can't come to my party then.
That's fine. I'm on a diet. All right, what did I do here?
I'm known for throwing parties. I just like, because, not that I'm a great party giver like Martha Stewart or anything, it gives me an excuse to have to clean my house. Because otherwise I don't clean.
Yeah, we had friends come in from out of town that we haven't seen, probably 4 or 5 years now. And, that was the excuse of, oh my God, they're going to be here! Clean! So, the closets don't open those, but the house looked fabulous. Except for the top floor, which I lay no claim to since my children live up there and they're hoarders and kind of disgusting. So.
Well, I said I, started learning how to dye yarn during the pandemic, during lockdown. So afterwards I said, when I ran into people, you were allowed to say, gosh, you look good. Is that a new hairstyle? You were not allowed to say, oh, I cleaned during the lockdown. Because if you did, you were dead to me. I did one closet. That was it.
I moved. So I cleaned.
Okay, you win.
I cleaned several houses. We moved twice within a few months, which moving during a pandemic is super easy, and I really recommend it, especially when you're moving into a place that has no furniture and everything's closed down. It's really easy to live comfortably. And then we also had the movers hold our stuff hostage, so that was fun. And
were they trying to make you pay more?
Oh, they did. So they were like, oh, well, we can't fit in your development, you have to rent another truck and you get to pay for them. And they were supposed to be at our house in 3 days, and after a month they still weren't there, and we hadn't packed anything more than 3 days worth of stuff, maybe a week's worth of clothes, but we didn't have any furniture. The kids were like, we had a blow-up mattress for Troy and me, but the kids were like, sorry kids, good luck with that, make a nest. And so it was terrible. And at one point, I was like, oh my gosh, I had only brought so much, undergarments and things like that. So I'm like, I'm just going to run out. I'm just going to go to Walmart, because that was the only thing that was open, was Walmart. And I could grab a pair of just, briefs. So I go and I grab, a woman's medium, and I took them home. I opened them up, and they were like,
grannies.
They were so big
Grannies.
that both of my girls could fit in them together, one in each leg. I'm like, my goodness, the sizing might be slightly off here. So.
Yeah, for one whole year, all my clothes came from whatever I could grab off the rack on Walmart that looked like my size, and I didn't have to stop and breathe on anyone.
Oh, it was terrible.
I lucked out, though. Everything fit.
Yeah, it was weird. We finally got our stuff back, but then we had to meet them in a parking lot because they were, trying to sell my husband. And then that's really when my Spanish came in handy, because boy, did I yell at them. But eventually we got all our stuff back, so to the tune of several $1,000s more than it was supposed to be.
Oh,
And they stole all my toilet paper because I had put a big thing of toilet paper in because, of course, everyone was hoarding toilet paper and you couldn't find it. And they took that and some other stuff. So that was a really good experience. I recommend them highly. Yelp review, 5 stars. All right.
That's right. Yeah, see, you want this on the bottom side, the wrong side, this white.
Yeah.
The little white stitches.
Yeah.
See, that's why I started over, because they were flipping up on my top. And you had the luxury of making a design element. I could not, because I'd already done the front.
Yeah.
Wait till you see the next one we have planned. It is so cool.
Oh, the sweater?
Yeah.
Yes. So cool. I gotta find some fun yarn. It's always fun to dream.
I thought we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about it. Oh, we have to, the one I have to order that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Stay tuned. I'll let you know.
Of course, by the time we get this done, we might not be speaking to each other. We don't know.
I don't think so. I think we're good. You're probably not going to speak to me because mine's going to be so awesome. You'll be like, so jealous.
I know. Then I changed my mind. You should start with yellow.
That puke color looks so good
Good
next
on
to your
you.
skin. Yeah.
You put that right up next to your nose. Go ahead.
No, I can't wait to do the Weekender bag. That'll be my first felting. I think we're gonna have to have a road trip to my house because I don't have a
Field trip?
a field trip to my house because I don't have a washer and dryer in here. So we'll just have to have everyone come over.
Okay, so let them. Oh, I'll ask you that later.
Okay.
He doesn't have one next door.
Nope. It doesn't have one next door.
So what does she do with her stuff? She...
I have a barber that I share this space with, a lovely sweetheart, and sometimes people rent. This one woman rents from him, but I think she just takes everything
Does
with her.
take everything
Yeah,
home? She'd have to.
yeah. Because he's been a barber for, forever and a
I'm
day.
gonna get to my neckline, so I'll be able to
Help me
show
with
you
my
here.
neckline.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I have to tell my funny story because I know I was telling you last week. My husband and I were really into the College World Series. We like watching it. It is so much fun. And it came down to the final 3 games, best out of 3. And so when I was here last Saturday, I was teaching a sock class. And I was like, I got to get home. It's the first game of the 3. So we went home. We watched it. And Ole Miss won. They beat Oklahoma. So they said game 2 would be Sunday.
Spoiler alert. It's coming.
Every other game has been Sunday night. No problem. Sunday night. We turned it on at 7. The game was at 2. They won. We missed the final game. It took us several days to speak about it. I was like, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. And my friend Pat called and she goes, can you believe Ole Miss won? Don't talk to me. I'm like, how did we miss it? She goes, I don't know. We were flipping back and forth between golf and the game. And you couldn't have let me know. We were just sitting on our butts, knitting, and reading, whatever, and the whole game was on. So we watched the whole college, the regionals, everything, tried to get tickets to go up to Spartanburg to see the game, everything. And it comes down to the final game, the final team that I wanted to win, and I missed it.
Oh, man. That sucks.
And now you know why my name is Lucille Ball. Totally missed it. That will never happen again.
All right. Not puckering as much, right?
Looking better.
Woohoo.
Much smoother.
Say cool.
Almost there.
All right. I'm almost down to my corner as well.
Okay. So when you're doing just the I cord, it's knit 3, slip them back on. Knit 3, slip them back on. There's no passing over.
Okay, we just do that for however many inches.
Mm-hmm. Hold it up. Where's our music coming from?
I think it's people talking outside.
Oh.
It's the sound in your brain.
Yeah, and I knew that I wanted, if you read on Facebook, on Ravelry, a lot of people said they did make theirs wider. I have narrow shoulders, so I really play because I didn't want this to drag off. And I went 9, and I felt very comfortable with 9. I measured it here. I measured some of my other tops that I liked, and I like 9. Now, when I go to put it on, I could be totally off, but we're going to go with 9 because I figure if I want to block it,
you could be like the 80s and it can be off your shoulder.
Well, what I can do is if it's not quite, I can stretch it a little bit, and if it's still really off, I know I can get it over my head. I'll just cut that part and redo it carefully, like a steak.
Wait, you cut the whole thing?
No, I would just cut out that middle part.
Oh my God!
And pick it up the stitches and redo it. Kind of like steeking, if you've never done steeking.
Steeking scares me.
Oh, that's why people like that Lopi, because it would felt itself on the back,
and then
when you did the color work.
Yeah.
So you could cut it without doing stitches or anything, and it would hold. Now when I do it, I do a crochet up. Well, actually, there's several ways you can do it. I have a friend who is Norwegian, and oh my gosh, her steeking is gorgeous. She does it on the sleeves and everything else.
Yeah, just the idea of cutting into my stuff that I've just made is scary.
Well, you know what you can do, because I had a knitting machine at one time, and
I got one. Someone gave me, when I first opened the shop, they had inherited one. She didn't know what to do with it, and she asked if I would like it. And I said, sure. So you'll have to show me how the whole thing works.
So I'm at my, ready to go across my neckline now.
Me too.
Okay, so remember, it's just knit 3, slide back on, knit 3. Because when you do the knit 3, so I have them right here, you see that my working yarn is the first one. When you slide them back onto your left needle, my working yarn is clear at the back. It's not the first one, and that's the way you want it, because it comes up and around, and that's what makes the I-cord, because it twists it around. So don't panic. And actually, if it still doesn't make sense, there's a lot. I used the website Snugglery, Snugglerey, I think, and it has a very good little picture tutorial. I'm not always good with YouTube. Some people learn everything from YouTube. I'd rather see the description and have it written out. It's just easier for me. I'm old school, I guess.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can use YouTube if I'm already doing something that I kind of know how to do, and I just need, this is what you put. Okay. But if it's brand new,
Well, when I was learning German short rows, my friend, she goes, do the German short rows. They're really easy. And I said, her name's Judi, too. And I said, Judi, I don't understand how to do it. She goes, just YouTube it. Just YouTube it. It's fairly easy. And I said, okay. She goes, just do it before you come over, because we were going to work on something. And I'm like, okay. Well, I don't know what my husband did to the sound on the computer, but there was no sound. So I said, fine, I'll just put the captions on. So I hit it for captions. Remember, German, short rows. It missed something in translation because it was telling me to wrap my urine.
Oh, that's a very different show.
Yeah, but I don't even know how that's possible.
We're not judging if you wrap your urine. We're simply saying it wasn't what we were working on.
It's like, so then I called her, I'm just going to come over and you show me. I don't want to wrap my urine. Of course, then I missed it all because I was laughing so hard. Totally lost it in translation.
Yes, well, Spanish, people tend to think, I can speak Spanish. You just add an O or an A to the end of the word, and it's the same. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't always work. So when I was living in Spain, a new group of the students had come over from the abroad program that I was part of. And they were like, you should take them out, show them, Madrid and what's around. And so we were at this place, and everyone in Madrid, well, really most of Europe give you fries with absolutely everything. So it doesn't matter what you've ordered; they're going to give you French fries with it. And so I'm at this table with a group of these American students had come over, and the kid he wanted ketchup for his fries. So he didn't know how to say ketchup. So, but he's going to just go for it. So the waitress comes over and she says, ¿Qué quieres? What do you want? And he goes, ¿Qué chupas? And I'm like, oh my God, she looked like he had slapped her right across the face. And I start dying laughing, and she stomps off, and he goes, what? I go, do you know what you just said? He's like, I said ketchup. I'm like, no, you didn't. I said, ketchup is ketchup. Okay? Ketchupas means, what do you suck? So, yeah. So I was like, no wonder. I said, good thing you got your food already. So anyway, don't just add an A or an S.
And don't order dessert.
So, yes, and then we're done after this round. So, yeah, that was good times in Madrid. Yeah, Americans.
I'm like Joey on Friends when he was trying to learn French. And she goes, je ne sais pas. And he goes, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. You already measured?
No, I just wanted to get it out ahead of time. Oh, fine.
Why are you throwing all your stuff?
Yeah. This was not my favorite part of the sweater. I just want you to know.
The I-cord?
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It just seems like, I always feel like when I'm doing a bind off that I'm here, I'm at the end, oh my gosh, I'm almost here, and then you're like, oh my gosh, why is this taking so long?
That's the way I feel about Pico lace bind off.
I don't know how to do that.
Lord.
Have to work
it's like
on
you
that.
knit 2, put 4 on, cast on 8, knit 2. It's like, what? I know it's really not that bad, but it's like blah, 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 blah.
Well, at some point we're going to have to do some lacy stuff because I need to learn it.
Oh.
And I know you don't like lacy, but you have to teach me.
No, but wait a minute. What were we talking about doing that had that lace? Oh, it's that thing that Deputy
Joe's going to be?
Deputy Joe's bringing. It's got lace in it, so I think you should do it.
We'll have to see.
She didn't want you anyway. She wanted that other girl.
She wanted the other lady.
Me.
The other lady. The other lady that actually knows what she's doing instead of just makes it up as she goes, like you.
She thinks I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. You make it up too. But with confidence, and that is
Galloping
the key.
horse rule.
The key to success. Make it up, but with confidence.
Like, you didn't want me to call you on the golf course? I have to tell you my
No,
story.
you
I have to tell the story. You know I have a story.
Of course.
I always have a story.
That's what I love
So
about you.
I sew for people. I recover chair cushions. I make designer pillows. I've had strange requests over the years, and yes, I can make them. So I had these chairs that I had done for this elderly couple. I had to staple the backs on or whatever, and I was trying to get a hold of them. And a lot of times I'm always have like 4 or 5 people that customs waiting on me. So I sometimes accidentally mix up the phone numbers, but I go into my recents and I can figure out, oh, she called me on Monday. That's got to be her phone number.
Right.
Because a lot of people keep their old area codes, like mine's 740. It's not the area code for down here. I just kept it from when we moved from Ohio 15 years ago. And so I had mixed up their area code. And so I'm looking down and I see the same area code and I went, oh, must be her husband's. So I called. Well, there wasn't any answer. I thought, well, I'll call later. So about an hour later, I tried again. And I think I tried like 3 times. That evening, my friend Pat, that you've heard me talk about, her husband calls me. He goes, what do you want? I said, Ron, I don't want anything. Why? He goes, then why did you call me 3 times while I was on the golf course today? So here he is golfing with these men and another woman who's not his wife just calling him 3 times. And I started laughing and I went, what, you don't want me calling you on the golf course? He goes, I don't want you calling me at all. What do you want? And I said, oh, I mixed up your phone number. I am so sorry. And of course I wasn't because I was cracking up.
Why do you keep calling me? I wasn't.
Yeah, I wasn't, but you bet I will now whenever I know you're on the golf course. I might text you something saucy, too.
Woohoo! Yeah. No, I hate the phone. Oh my God. I'm like, just text me if you need something because I don't call people. My husband's on the phone all the time.
Obviously, I shouldn't.
We're doing a live broadcast. So we have this down here, and I've got these colors right here.
Okay.
I also have some of those colors over there, and I have.
Come over here. Keep going. Go down right there.
Push this
See that
chair out.
turquoise?
These?
Go
Yep, and over
Yes.
all the way to the end.
Somebody was knitting with that turquoise last night, and it was
It's
absolutely
absolutely beautiful.
For
gorgeous.
washcloth?
Yep.
You
Yes,
think that's
it was
good?
Yep.
gobsmacking beautiful.
Yep, and then we have these over here. There are 5 colors as well. Little less yarn, but these are clean cotton multi. So here is that one.
Oh, yeah.
So, but then the Citical and Natural people love for that. So,
See how well she sells?
I
She
know.
does very well.
well, thank you. So feel free to come on over and look
you can
around.
Wave. We're
Yes.
doing a knit along, and it's like a podcast Instagram.
Oh, got it. Okay. Okay. Otherwise,
There you go.
Okay,
Come
thank
on
you.
in. Yeah, you got it.
What you making there, girl?
let me do some washcloths on the plane to Seattle.
Oh, look up on the wall. Look at the washcloth that's shaped like a leaf that I did. It's a free pattern on the.
It's right over there on the top right. Yep.
Nice.
Yep, we're going to do some Christmas gifts, holiday gifts
Let me see if I can find it real
in
quick
December
on my
where we
iPad
put some
for
kits
you.
like that together.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really fun pattern.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it and you can look it up. It was free on Ravelry, but I don't remember
Okay.
the name of it. Hold on. Here it is. It's called Leafy Full. Just called Leafy. I'm sorry.
Leafy.
Leafy
Okay.
washcloth. It's free on Ravelry.
Okay, great. I'll go on and check it out. Thank you.
All right, well, that is our time. Didn't that go quickly?
It did. So you're gonna go your inches across. Then you're going to pick up just like you did on the other, and you're all the way across. Now, when you go to pick up your first row, which is going to be your main color, that was the trick. Lay it out opposite you. Do not try and do it down here. It doesn't work. Lay it out opposite of you, and then when you do, you can see that white stitch. So when you're going to pick up the white stitch and the bottom stitch, actually it goes bottom stitch, white stitch, bottom stitch, white stitch, and that is going to pick up your whites so that it's below, and then you'll start knitting. And you'll be upside down. Don't let it panic, okay? Don't panic. It'll be upside down. But that's what I had the hardest time with, because I was trying to do it this way, and it wasn't working. I was knitting underneath, and I was like, what? And finally I looked at the picture. Look at the picture. And they laid it out away from you. So lay it away from you. Then you do that, you can see the underneath much better. If you're doing it this way, it just, you can do it. It just looks like crap, okay?
We try not to look like crap here.
Well, and I'm telling you, this is my 4th try before I finally looked at the picture.
And that's why
Yeah.
Judy's my knitting bestie, because I'm like, could you figure this out? Because I don't know what I'm doing here.
And finally I went, yeah, that was like, I put it away and I went, one more time. One more time. And then I looked at it and I figured it out. So that's the number one trick you've got to do, is work away from you and go across. Underneath, it's not so bad. You can just pick up a couple. But then again, when you get over here, pick it up. And then once you pick it up, count your stitches. All right, so and write them down so that you know you kind of need the same thing. If you don't have it, it's not a big deal. If you're short a couple, then do a couple make ones on the second row. Not going to show. If you got over and you think it's going to show, do a couple knit two togethers, because it's all just stocking knit from here on out. The hard part will be over when you do this. So next week you'll have your bodice done. Yes, you will. Don't make me come there. And we'll start on, and you can do the back.
All right.
Okay?
So that's our homework. Make sure we get our bodices done. Woohoo! And because we're not stopping at this because, well, that is very, oh, sorry. See, you ripped up my stitches. I ripped up yours.
I know. That's okay.
That's how
I
we
can
do.
still do it.
So anyways, as sexy as this would be, just to this length, right under your boobs, we might not be quite so flashy. All right, so like I said, we'll be here next Friday, 11 to 12 here on Instagram Live. And we thank you for joining our hilarity, as we like to pretend. And
I'll probably have done something stupid again next week.
I definitely will have. It's
call my friend's husband on the golf course by mistake.
Oh, there's a day that ends in Y. There's definitely stupid things that I've got going on. But thank you for joining us on our knit along here. And again, we're doing Smooth Sailing by Dora Creadora. You can find that on Ravelry. If you have any questions about what it is the heck we're talking about, try, sending me a text, a message. You can call. I'm here at the shop, shrimpandknits.com.
And our guest, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Here.
Thank
wave,
you for
Cindy, wave.
Come on in. Yes. Keep leaning in, girl.
Our
Keep
guest
leaning
shopper,
in.
our mystery shopper,
So
Cindy
much
was
fun.
All right. Have a great week. Like I said, reach out if you have any questions. We look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great week. Stay out of trouble or get video.
here. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. Bye. All right, now how do I do this? Turn this off.
Okay, Cindy, I will pay you not to tell anyone.
We're open, right?
Well, yeah, I opened it new and so, but we just hadn't wrapped up yet.
I will pay you not to tell anyone.
I won't
but
tell
just